Hey guys, welcome and ting and ting and ting. And we're gonna get a little deep in this one. And this one is called racism in Serbia. Is there racism in Serbia? You understand what I'm saying? Thing. If I was to travel there, what's the vibe like? I'm assuming this person is either American or British. I don't know. She's gonna tell us what the vibe is there and what she's experienced and stuff. So let's go ahead and YouTube and simmer and see what the vibe is.
Zdravo, kako si, ja sam Nicole. Thank you for coming to check out my channel. Racism. Let's talk about racism. Is racism here? No, I'm not in Canada.
Oh, she's Canadian.
No, I'm not in the US either.
Oh, okay.
I'm in Serbia. What racism? I haven't experienced it. My kids are darker than I am. They haven't experienced it. And in fact, maybe about 10 Africans I've spoken to, they haven't experienced it either.
Ooh.
Let's get into this.
Let's get into it. Ooh, a little reggae.
I'm feeling a bit under the weather this week, guys, so this video was definitely a little harder to get into, but I didn't want to let everybody down because I've always talked about Mondays is my shooting day. So please excuse this appearance because I am feeling pretty crappy. Okay, racism. When my husband and I met, I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those people stereotyping the Serbian culture and people saying, oh, he's Serbian? He's not gonna like my family. I am half black. I'm Swedish and Jamaican, so I thought. I did Ancestry DNA and it turns out that I'm actually English and Nigerian. So I actually identify just as all of the above because, my whole life I've been Swedish and Jamaican, knowing that my mother was Swedish, my father Jamaican. Comes to find out that I'm majority English and majority Nigerian, 50-50, well, with some Mali and Congo and some England and Scotland. But I still do have Swedish in me, just not as much as I thought I did. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Okay,
yeah, let's go.
That a lot. I'm sorry. When my husband and I met, I was certain that it was going to be a big problem with his family. Now, don't get me wrong. They definitely were not happy with moi. However, they wanted him to marry a Serbian girl. I'm a Serbian girl now. They got over it. And they know they're stuck with me and I'm going to be around forever. Anyways, I came on vacation to Serbia in the summer, not knowing anything about Serbia other than what I was told. So I really needed to experience it for myself. I needed to see if I was going to get the looks in the stares when I wear my big hair. I needed to see if I was going to get the looks when my skin got darker. I did get much lighter in color after my fourth child. Each child I had, I got a little lighter. So I know a lot of you are going to say, oh my God, how could you be faced with racism when you're so light? However, that's not the case. When you have a drop of black and if someone's racist, then they actually consider you black and they have an issue with you. I know that most of my Serbs won't understand that because for the most part, I haven't met those racist individuals. I find that the racism culture is a lot more of a Western society issue and probably issues in other countries in Europe. I can't speak for that because I haven't been to anywhere other than Greece. And again, I didn't have problems there either. But what I can tell you is I feel nothing but love here. So one of the struggles though that are real is finding hair products because the hair products are not really meant for my type of hair. While I was like, oh my God, I love this country. We've moved here. I'm like, it's great. And they're not racist. We're not having issues. We go to visit my brother-in-law. And when I'm walking up, I'm like, that's a Jamaican flag on the wall. Painted. Take a look.
Oh, yeah.
And
Cut the
then
reggae.
my son sends me another picture of a painted wall that he now took, and he's like, Mom, it's a Jamaican flag painted on the wall.
Well, yeah, what's going on there, peeps?
I'm like, I don't remember seeing Jamaican flags painted on the wall in Canada, well, in Ontario. Don't get me wrong, there may have been, but I just don't remember seeing them, and we have quite a large community of Jamaicans.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking up, is there any reggae parties? And I found this. There's
Oh
a
yeah.
culture here, guys. The couple Africans that I did go up to and speak to, they said, nothing but welcoming. One thing that the Serbs do, and it doesn't matter if you're black, white, yellow skin, it doesn't matter where you're from. If they choose to stare, they're gonna stare. And they're not gonna stare in a way like the Westerns are taught, like look and they're looking, look away. No, they're just gonna stare.
That's funny that she said that, because a lot of Romanians that message me on Instagram and stuff says, when you come visit, they're going to stare at you, but it's not like in a malicious sort of way. They're just staring. And so don't feel out of place or offended or anything like that. And I'm like, I'm 7'1" tall. I'm used to people staring at me. People stare at me all the time here. They don't just stare at me. They take pictures of me without me looking here. You know what I mean? I'd be walking down an aisle in a store, and then I see somebody come up, take a quick picture, and then run. Yeah, people do that. They take pictures of me like that. So I'm pretty much used to people staring. The whole racism thing, boy, whoo, Lord, that hit me hard when I hit this country. I went to a college of the mountains. I ain't even gonna name the state, because I hate name states and places, and that paint a picture of everybody in there. And it's not everybody in there that's like that, And I have to acknowledge that right away. So, yeah. Oh, man. I went from being a majority, because my country was like 86% black. And then I ended up in this College of the Mountains. I'm telling you, man, that was a culture shock and a half. And then to realize that's where, I think in one of the videos before this one, I said that I was asked, do we still eat people in my country? That's where that question was asked. And it was one of those evangelical schools too, the Christian schools where everybody's supposed to be everybody. No, that didn't happen. I got married to somebody that was not of my race. They didn't like that. Nobody liked that. There was all kinds of shoo, and blah, blah, blah. People didn't believe that we actually fell in love and got married. You know what I mean? When we had our kid, they would say, "Oh, I'm so sorry," to her. They'd say, "I'm so sorry. You got pregnant and had to marry him." And it's like, no, we were married for 2 years before he was born. What? You actually married him? You actually made a conscious decision to marry this dude? Granted, back then I had dreadlocks down past my waist and thing. You know what I mean? Stuff they never seen before. It's like, well, he looks like one of them Dutch savages. And even back, I know I'm laughing now. I even laughed back then because it was so ridiculous. And I don't, but then it has shaped the way I deal with people to a certain degree. I'm not confrontational or adversary to people. I'm cautious, let's put it that way. Like, I don't go to people's houses. People invite me over for Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner, and I don't go. And I don't really explain to them. I usually tell them, nah, I'll stay home and I'll do my own Grenadian thing, you know what I mean? But I don't go because that person might be okay, but there's always one person in that family that's going to say something stupid or say something offensive while I'm there. It has happened way too much for me not to be cautious of it or wary of it. So I tend to not visit people's house very much. Younger people, yes, because they don't care, they just want to chill out. But like older folks, nah, I don't go to their houses and stuff and hang out with them. And some of them get offended, but I just don't, because they're going to say something. See, because here's the thing about me, and this is going to be weird. Here, a lot of people don't consider me black. They consider me foreign. I remember the first time I heard it, I'm like, what? You mean? You know what I mean? Now, in some cases, I am subject to the same sort of racism as blacks, but then a lot of the times, the minute I start talking, you can see the change in them, and they go, no, he's not really black. Dad, in-laws says that, but he's not really black. And I guess it's because of the way I speak and stuff like that. They consider black to be ignorant and and violent and all that, and then they meet me, and I'm just nice and calm and chill, you know what I mean? But wait a minute, no, he ain't supposed to be like that. He's supposed to be the angry black man, you know what I mean? So, do I encounter racism here? Yes. I haven't walked the street at night here in a long time. I used to walk to work. It's about 12 blocks in that direction, and people used to yell stuff at me all the time. You know what I mean? Yell to me that they're gonna hang me and stuff like that. So but yeah, I just used to laugh and keep going. You know what I mean? Stupid people. You know what I mean? As long as they don't get out of the car and come at me, then we good to go. You can see what you want. You know what I mean? Let's keep going with this here.
Now, they're not staring because they actually have a problem, because if you actually talk to them, they're fascinated. They think my hair is gorgeous. They want to touch my hair. They have questions. They think it's unique that I have a family member who was, like, my mother was from here, my father was from here.
And she said that about the hair thing. Like I said, I had dreadlocks way down past my waist when I first came here. And when I started college, I was sitting in my class chilling, right? And I was the only black person in the class too. So I'm sitting there chilling and listening to the professor, and then I lean forward only to get jerked back. And I look around and there's a girl sitting there playing with my hair. She's sitting there in class playing with my hair. I'm like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And she's like, oh, this is so fascinating. Oh, I like the feel of it. And I was like, yeah, you didn't even ask my permission to touch my bloody hair. What's up with that? She was all fascinated. When I came to this place here where I live now, I was like probably the first permanent resident of this place with dreadlocks. People they couldn't fathom, all that hair, you know what I mean? And it's different. It's not braided. It's called dreads, yeah. Rastafari.
Here and mixed together. They say the most beautiful people in the world are people with melanin. So, it's not staring out of being rude, it's staring out of fascination, admiration, thinking how beautiful our culture and how beautiful our skin tones and our hair is. One thing they don't know, and I know this is for my black subscribers and viewers, are going to understand this more than anyone else. They don't understand that don't touch my hair.
I know.
Please excuse my kidding. But they will definitely touch your hair when it's out. They love it. They think it's like a sheep. And they're like, Kakalepa, Kakalepa. How beautiful. And they like full lips. And they like to be tan. And you know what? A lot of Serbs are olive skin anyways. But they pick up the sun like crazy. I ran into also a mixed couple. I stopped them in the center of Belgrade and I was like, hey, stop. Oh my God, you're a biracial couple. How is it? And the man said, I will not be leaving Serbia. Like, yes, I now have a wife and child here, but I love this country. And I'm like, so tell me, do you experience racism? Because I'm really fair skinned, so I need to know. From a brother to a sister, do you experience racism? And he was like, I haven't yet, just a lot of stares. Like I said. So while speaking with some of the Africans that I've met, because there's quite a few Africans that go to school here, I'm like, guys, where do you get your hair products from? Now here's a business for you guys, because I'm not interested in opening this business, but if you're thinking about coming to Serbia and you're like, what am I going to do here? There's only one person that I have found and others have found that sell product, sell hair, sell wigs, etc. Do-rags. For some of you, that's foreign language. For the ones who know, you know.
We know.
So there's one person. And there definitely is room for more because that one person is far from where I am. Fun fact for everybody. 2 fun facts, actually. First, did you know the Oxford University did a study and determined that Serbia was the least racist country in the world?
Wow.
Guys, take a minute and let that sink in. The least racist country in the world. For some reason, Canadians, Americans, and what I've been told is the English, believe that Serbia is racist. We all have this preconceived notion that it's a racist country for whatever reason. Also, did you know in 1835, the Constitution of Serbia It said every slave who enters the soil of Serbia at that moment becomes a free man. Guys.
You want to know why in those countries they think that the Serbians are racist? Projection. We aren't, they are painting that picture. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I've met Serbians that were playing college basketball here, great kids, chilling, just like every other normal American, Grenadian, just chilling people, you know what I'm saying? And, but yeah, that, it's called projection. That's what it is. You know what I mean? Because what's the worst thing you could do? You could trump up to call somebody if you want to disparage them. And what's the worst thing that you've been called? And what's the best way to make somebody else look bad is to project. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying all Americans are. I'm not saying all Canadians are. I'm not saying all British people are. The majority of them isn't. But for some reason, the minority of them that is, they speak the loudest. They do, man. They yell the loudest. For far she's saying there in Serbia, they don't speak the loudest.
Let me read that to you again. 1835, Constitution of Serbia. Every slave who enters the soil of Serbia at that moment becomes a free man. Again, this country isn't racist. We've got other countries to keep our eyes on. This one is to put your heart on. You're going to see all this outpour of love if you do come to this country. So if you have this stereotype tucked into the back of your brain like I did, from for whatever reason, from God knows where, I don't even know how I came up with this idea that Serbia was racist. But if it's a thought in your mind, you can let it go. I have met people from Congo, Trinidad, Jamaica, Nigeria. I think that covers all of them because I've met a few that were Trini, a few that were Jamaican, but not one of them had a bad thing to say. One thing they did say, the language is very difficult, as you guys know. Anyways, vidimo se, ciao.
Okay, now that was quite informative. I enjoyed that. You know what I mean? And I was never really worried about racism there. I'm never really worried about racism anyway. I'll go wherever. But that was really good to know. I hope you guys enjoyed this video with me. I'll leave a link in the description for this video so you could go check it out and thing. And I'll leave links to videos that I've reacted to on Serbia. You all take care of each other, alright? Cool runnings.